All right, y'all, we back with another reaction right here on ABP Reactions. This one is called Cops Think Stepmom Killed Dad Until 6-Year-Old Reveals This Clue. The case of the Oxley family. Let's go.
The worst feeling thinking that you're getting blamed for your husband's death.
This is Melissa Oxley. 5 hours before this footage was recorded, Melissa was living a picture-perfect life with her husband Ben and her 6-year-old stepdaughter, Alyssa. The couple had been married for over a year, and Melissa had even adopted Ben's daughter on the day of their wedding. She was the mother Alyssa never had. But on February 21st, 2008, things took a disturbing turn for the worst, when at 3:30 a.m., Ben Oxley was found murdered in his bed with a shotgun wound to his head. His wife Melissa claims she was asleep next to him, but saw nothing. She was covered in blood and was physically unharmed.
The other thing I don't understand is why if somebody shoots him, why you not see anything.
That's crazy.
Like I sleep down.
Police are convinced she killed
She sleeps sound. A shotgun? Bitch, that shit loud as fuck. That's gonna wake up anybody.
her husband.
If it was just a random murder, why don't they think about being you're right there?
The problem is, Melissa is innocent. The plot behind the murder of Ben Oxley would remain a mystery if it wasn't for one clever 6-year-old girl who wasn't asleep. That night, Alyssa saw something she should have never seen, and it could save her mother's life.
Alyssa, how old are you?
6. I woke up and heard this creak at the front door. I just looked out and I saw someone walking in.
Do you know who they were?
It's 2004. In the town of Minden, Nevada, 32-year-old Ben Oxley is a newly single dad, trying to rebuild his life after a somewhat bitter divorce. After gaining shared custody of his daughter Alyssa, he pours his whole heart into raising his 3-year-old. Together, they share a special bond like no other father and daughter. He takes Alyssa everywhere, even to a Valentine's Day event where the young father and daughter dance to their favorite song, Butterfly Kisses.
He was truly her best friend, and he was the best dad. That's all he cared about with Alyssa. That was his priority, was to take care of her.
He drove himself to be the best he could be for Alyssa.
Everybody said that he loved me more than anything, and I think it's true.
A year later, Ben begins looking for love again. He meets a woman named Melissa, and it seems like almost instantly, in their first few conversations, sparks are already flying. As they plan to finally meet in person, the single dad even brings Alyssa on their first date, as her approval meant the world to him.
Our first date, Alyssa was there. Alyssa's like, don't talk to my dad.
I remember meeting her. I didn't really like her.
Melissa, although taken aback by Alyssa's rejection on her first date, isn't upset at all. Rather, she absolutely falls in love with the bright child, finding her childish jealousy adorable. As Ben and Melissa's love blossoms, the three of them start forming a new blended family. It's now September 17th, 2006, almost a year after the young couple started dating. And now, they're getting married. And of course, they don't forget to create a special ceremony for the now 4-year-old Alyssa, the little flower girl. During the wedding, Melissa the bride bends down to the little girl and gently puts a bracelet on her wrist, engraved with her promise that they will always love each other and be there for each other as family.
Letting her know that I will always love her as my own.
That's nice.
Shortly after the wedding, Ben and Melissa were granted full custody of the little girl, no longer having split custody with Ben's ex-wife, Dawn.
Whoa. Okay, let's keep a tab on that right there. Full custody of the daughter. The mother no longer has custody. All right, I'm gonna keep a tab on that mental note.
This brings together the full family, Ben's daughter and Melissa's teenage brother Craig, under one roof. From this day forward, Alyssa has a new stepmother. Built on love and with a bright future ahead of them, the new family has no idea that their life will take the most unimaginable turn. It's February 21st, 2008, 2 years after the happy wedding. At around 3:30 a.m., the Nevada police station receives a disturbing 911 call.
911, address of your emergency.
I was sleeping. I turned on the light to wake up my husband, and it's really, really bad.
On the phone with 911 is Melissa Oxley, the stepmom. Her voice shakes as she tells them she just woke up in bed, next to her husband, covered in blood. The operator quickly dispatches police to the scene while continuing questioning.
Is he awake?
No, he's dead.
He's dead. So you think somebody came in and shot him?
Yeah.
Where's your husband at?
No, lay down, lay down. I'm so tired.
Who are you talking to right now?
My daughter.
Just stay in the bedroom with your daughter, okay?
6-year-old Alyssa is in a state of shock as she
Hey, y'all. This shit sounds unreal, right? That somebody could walk in your bed, unless they got a silencer, your bedroom. That's probably the only way. Unless a silencer or, you know, there's some tactics to silence the muzzle. But if they didn't silence the muzzle and they just, with a shotgun, boom, and you don't wake up and you don't hear shit, that's a different type of sleep. That's a different type of sleep. That's dangerous. The nigga can walk in and get killed and you don't even hear nothing. But let's see. Let's see. Is that even possible?
begs her stepmother to let her see her dad, but Melissa refuses, holding on to the little girl.
But I want to go see my dad. I want to go see my dad. And I just told her, you can't go see your dad.
Suddenly, the stepmother hears noise coming from outside the room. She urgently updates the dispatcher, fearing an intruder might still be in the house.
Okay, while I'm talking to you, my partner is dispatching units out, okay?
We immediately called code 3, lights and sirens, driving as fast as we can to get to the scene.
When police arrive, the front door is wide open. On alert, they approach the empty foyer. It's pitch black, all the lights are off, and they hear nothing but the eerie silence.
I was thinking, am I gonna see a deceased person or am I gonna encounter someone pointing a gun at me?
Police quietly make their way through the house and head to the first bedroom. There, as they peek inside, they find a dark figure lying in bed, covered by blankets, not moving.
We're yelling sheriff's office, show us your hands, multiple times, and we're getting no response from the subject that's in the bed under the covers.
All of a sudden, a young man emerges from under the blankets, seemingly waking up from a deep sleep as he raises his hands in the air. Panicked, he tells the police, who are pointing their guns at him, that his name is Craig. The 17-year-old is Melissa's younger brother, who was living with the family at the time.
And from that point, my attention got drawn back out to the hallway, and I saw Melissa. She's standing there. She's got blood on her clothing, and just in shock was her face.
Melissa stands in the hallway, holding a phone in one hand and her stepdaughter in the other. Police quickly clear the rest of the house, finding no one else except the body of Ben Oxley in the master bedroom.
I could tell that there was a shotgun wound to the back of his skull. It appeared when I did my initial investigation.
To the back of his head? A shotgun. She slept through a shotgun. Even to the back of the head, which way was he facing? Because, nigga, that should have go straight through. What, them pellets get to go straight through? That nigga facing all through her, too. Close range, back of the head. Damn. Ooh, that's crazy. You gotta be a sick nigga to blow a nigga head off close range with a shotgun. That shit finna go everywhere.
That he was asleep when he was killed.
There are no signs of a break-in, no shattered windows, no forced-in doors. To the investigators, it feels like the killer wasn't a stranger. Maybe it was someone who lived there, Melissa, or her teen brother, Craig. They are brought into the police station for interrogations, and little Alyssa is now separated from her stepmother. Everyone is doing everything they can to make sure she's safe, but at only 6 years old, she cannot comprehend what is happening. She does not yet realize that she will never see her loving father, her closest friend, ever again. Trying to figure out who is responsible for Ben's murder, suspicion tightens on Craig when police find 2 shotgun shells on his nightstand. The ammunition is his. He's the only one in the family with an interest in guns.
Craig had duck hunting equipment, avid hunter, and somebody who knew a firearm. Ben Oxley had been shot with a shotgun. That was very suspicious.
However, despite 2 shotgun shells standing on his nightstand, Craig claims he was sleeping until police arrived.
I was pretty tired last night. I was in a pretty deep sleep. Even when I got there, I didn't even know what was going on really.
So you didn't hear anything?
No, my doors were shut.
Did you kill Ben?
I did not.
Investigators aren't convinced by Craig's story.
This nigga looked like a fucking killer, bro. He looked like he one of them goddamn, look at him, bro. The nigga get bullied, that get picked on at school. None of the girls like him. Everybody calls him a freaky name. Look at him. He looks like an ogre. He looks like an ogre. Hey, leave me alone, man. Look, his face turned all red. Hey, listen, them white boys who face be getting red, you gotta watch them. Look, yeah, this nigga right here, you gotta watch this nigga. He's a suspect for sure.
But when the test results come back, the room falls silent. There's no gunpowder residue on his hands, no evidence that he fired a weapon. He was, as he claimed, in his room asleep at the time of the murder. The focus shifts. Now, all eyes are on Melissa.
Oh, I was wrong. Fire me. Oh, well. I was wrong. Hey, man, don't judge a book by its cover. Sorry, y'all.
Why somebody shoots him, I can't see anything.
I don't know. I don't know.
Sometimes people know more than they want to tell or share. And I really need it all.
It's the worst feeling thinking that you're gonna blame for your husband's death.
It's counterintuitive to your thought process when you see she's covered in blood, but she wasn't hurt. She's giving me a story. I want to know the truth, obviously, but is this really the truth? Because how could you be in close proximity to somebody that gets killed and not be involved?
And not hear
Melissa
nothing.
quickly becomes their prime suspect. She insists she knows nothing about her husband's death, but the detectives don't believe her. How could she have been sleeping right beside him and not noticed anything? To them, she's the only lead they have, but at this moment, they have no proof, no hard evidence to arrest her, or to arrest anyone for that matter. But what the detectives don't know is that in the room next to the murder, the little girl wasn't asleep as she should have been. In fact, she was the only one in the house who saw something crucial that night. At this point, the investigation hits a wall, as they neither have any physical evidence putting Craig at the crime scene, nor any proof that Melissa has killed her husband, and police are forced to release both suspects. However, police then uncover a $400,000 life insurance policy Ben left behind, all of which would go to Melissa if he passed away. Though Melissa claimed to know nothing of the policy, this feels like a smoking gun, particularly to Ben's family, who feel that it's very possible that Melissa killed her husband for this big payout. With rumors swirling, now the whole town is closely watching this newly widowed woman, and they all have their own theories of how she escaped the murder charge.
Everybody in town just assumed that his wife murdered him while he was sleeping.
No way.
She's the prime suspect. She's the wife. She was laying in bed with him. It doesn't make sense that she wasn't shot.
As the investigation goes on, to protect the little girl, a judge sends Alyssa back to her birth mother, Ben's ex-wife. Alyssa is left in a family she knows very little about, now living with her birth mother Dawn, Dawn's new boyfriend James, and her other children. But despite being back with her birth mother,
all right, y'all. Keep tab on this shit. I said in the beginning I was keeping tab on the mother. She was taken away. They gave full custody to him and the new wife. Now he's killed. Guess where she goes? Back to the mother. Let's keep a tab on that. Because I know everybody look at the wife and the money. There's two possibilities right now.
the little girl desperately misses her stepmother, Melissa. The 6-year-old is dealing with the sudden grief and sadness of losing her father, a man who was always there for her, someone who cared for her, supported her, and sacrificed everything for her.
His daughter was his priority. Alyssa was everything to him. He was so joyful, fun, loving dad. He drove himself to be the best he could be for Alyssa.
All Alyssa wants is for things to go back to normal with her dad and stepmother. But, separated from Melissa at her new home, the little girl is exposed to all the nasty rumors and accusations being thrown at her stepmom. Everyone around her is talking about her father's killer, and they are all pointing the finger at Melissa, especially her mother Dawn.
She told me that she thought my stepmom killed my dad that night. Yeah, I didn't believe it, but...
Against all odds, the 6-year-old is the only one who believes in Melissa's innocence, even though the pair are being kept separate. Despite what others say, Alyssa trusts herself that the love she experienced and the happy time she spent with her father and stepmother were true. What she's able to tell detectives is something that nobody has been able to confirm until now.
One thing investigators did not expect was that Ben's 6-year-old daughter, Alyssa, could have been a witness.
Uh-oh.
I woke up and heard this creak at the front door.
Uh-oh.
I heard it, and I just looked out, and I saw someone walking in.
Do you know who they were?
I don't know who it was.
She just recognized it as a person that was looking in on her. That was the first time we now had somebody else possibly involved.
It's the mama's boyfriend. I'm calling it now. It's the mama's boyfriend. All right, I'm just making a wild guess.
Alyssa's testimony drops a bombshell on detectives' theories about Melissa, and they begin going over everyone who might have had conflicts with Ben. But what they don't realize is that the true killer has actually been right under their noses.
I couldn't think of anybody that would want him dead, besides Dawn.
After Ben's death, Dawn finally gets her daughter back from her ex-husband, something that she's always wanted since the divorce several years prior. Thinking it's finally time to start a new life with little Alyssa, Dawn is unaware that the detectives are actively launching an investigation into her. And soon, they discover that Dawn is not the mother that every daughter hopes for. In fact,
Told you. I told you. But it still could be a plot twist. But I told y'all, keep a mental note on the mama. The mama. Now listen, the wife, $400,000? Yeah. You in the bed? You didn't get shot? Yeah. In the middle of the night, you didn't hear nothing? Yeah. So it looks like it's her. But the daughter would have knew that, right? So that eliminates her. Boom. Who is this person that walked in? You didn't kill nobody else. Why would you walk in and only shoot him, but not shoot the lady if she's in bed with her? Boom, boom. I ain't nothing but 2 shots, right? And then the little girl, you didn't see her? But that's what makes it weird, because like the mama, if she saw her daughter in the room, she wouldn't just walk in, kill a dude and walk out. She would probably try to shoot him, boom, and then go walk and hug her daughter and get her and try to take her with her as a mother. I don't know. So I'm going with the mother boyfriend. I'm taking a lot of guesses, but I'm here with mother boyfriend. That's my final answer.
in fact, it seems Dawn has a history of neglect, of not providing for her daughter.
She met a guy and she would stay the night at his house. I mean, when her kids are calling us up saying, we don't have any food in the house, can you come and bring us food? There's a problem.
Detectives begin to uncover Dawn's long history in and out of jail for her drug addiction, which turns out to be the exact reason why she lost custody of Alyssa to Ben in the divorce in the first place.
The child custody dispute between Ben and Dawn. That weighed heavily on Dawn. She took that very personally.
In contrast to the happy family household Alyssa had with her father and stepmom, she must now deal with her mother's struggle with addiction to drugs and alcohol, petty crime, and neglect all over again. Investigators now bring Dawn in for an interview, trying to find out if she had any connection to Ben's murder, and to figure out where she was the night of the murder.
She stated that she was at the house the whole time, and that was all that she knew.
Who was at the house?
My son, Devin, and James.
Okay, guys, real quick. One thing we have learned over here at ABP Reactions, watching these videos, these reactions, when it comes to police and drug abusers, crackheads, meth heads, smokers, bums, what do we know about them? They are going to talk. They are going to snitch. Every time we watch a reaction video with a drug abuser, they always tell on somebody. So if they're somebody that's not on their radar right now, they're about to learn about them sitting down with a crackhead or a meth head or a drug abuser. You know what I mean? So let's see. Let's see who they learn about.
And James is my best friend's son. He hangs out there a lot.
It's 4:30. Who else is still up?
James was still awake with me, and he just told me to go to bed.
Are you romantically involved with James?
No. Him and I are just really good friends.
As Dawn tells investigators that James Metline is her new friend, they soon discover that he has a long history of being in and out of prison and has recently been living with Dawn for a while. The night of Ben's murder, he claims he was watching a movie with Dawn at home. Although this sounds like the perfect alibi, something doesn't sit well with the detectives.
We're starting to put James Metline and Dawn Oxley into the forefront of our investigation because we felt they had something to do with it. We just didn't know what it was.
Now, James is brought into the police station for questioning. He sits across from detectives in a small room. The questions begin, circling around one thing: his possible connection to the murder of Ben Oxley.
Did I kill Ben? No. Do I know who killed Ben? No. Did Dawn kill Ben? No. Do I know anything about the murder? No.
Were you and Dawn in any way involved in the planning of the death of Ben?
No. I'm looking you in your eyes. I did not kill him. I had nothing to do with him.
There is no physical evidence, nothing to prove them guilty, and they both adamantly deny any involvement, but time is running out, and if James or Dawn are involved in the murder of Ben Oxley, 6-year-old Alyssa is in great danger. Melissa desperately hopes to be reunited with her stepdaughter, but legally, the police's hands are tied, and unless they have solid evidence against Dawn and James, they have no reason to take the girl away from them. Alyssa remains in the custody of her birth mother. With no other options, the police focus all their efforts on uncovering the truth. They need evidence, something solid to act on. That's when they turn to their next move, surveillance.
We did open surveillance where we followed them and made sure they knew we were following them around.
We wanted them to see us following them. We wanted them to see us out and about in the community where they were at, to add pressure.
As we started looking at Dawn and James Matling, we started hearing a little bit about them being in a relationship, which was denied at first. And the question is why was that held from us?
The initial interviews at the house, they said they never left. They obtained the surveillance video. We found out James was at the convenience store the morning of the homicide. So we know that now his story has changed. At first he never left the house, and now we know he's out and about in the early morning hours of the night of the homicide.
Listen, again, it could not be the mother that shot this because it makes no sense. Now, is she involved? How would she be involved? A boyfriend who wants to make her happy. He understands that she's hurt, and I just want my kid back. You know, all them smokers, they all feel like they can get their kid back, and they won't stop smoking the crack. Put the crack down. Back the fuck up and put the crack down. They won't stop smoking the crack, but they be like, they get high. I just want my baby. I just want my baby. I could be a great mother. I know I could be a great mother. High as a motherfucker. High as a hot air balloon. I could be a great mother. I know I can. And he looks like he does the shit too. He does the shit too. They probably had one of them motherfucking nights they hit that shit. And he's like, you know what? I can make that happen for you. I can make that happen for you. I got you. I got you. They off crack. Remember, they off crack. So, you know, to them, this is a master. This plan is amazing. I got you right now. All right, cool. Let's go to Walmart. Why do everybody go to Walmart? The last case we just watched, nigga went to Walmart. Why do everybody go to Walmart? Listen, they got cameras in Walmart, guys. Stop going to buy your murder equipment in Walmart. God damn. Everybody go to Walmart.
What do you think I lied to you about?
In that first interview, when I originally asked you if you had gone out of the house that night, you told me no.
Okay.
You made up a big story about how you guys watched movies all night long, how you passed out on the couch, how you, et cetera, et cetera. You went on about that. Later, I found out through surveillance video that you were at 7-Eleven.
So we're finding holes in his story. Now we start looking into them deeply, like, okay, so if you're lying, what else is not true?
But even with the surveillance footage as proof that James was lying about his and Dawn's whereabouts the night of the murder, there still isn't enough evidence to arrest anyone. All other evidence leads to Melissa, who only wants one thing, to be back with her stepdaughter. Police are unsure where to turn next, when, in a twist no one saw coming, a new voice emerges in the investigation, a voice that cuts deeper than any other. Dawn's own teenage son and Alyssa's half-brother, Devin. He walks into the police station, his face heavy with the weight of what he's about to reveal. He says there's something he needs to confess, something crucial that he saw at his mother's house the night before Ben's murder.
Oh, shit. Plot twist. Here we go. Damn. Didn't see this coming. I definitely didn't see this coming. The son is coming in to confess on a mother? Shit.
The night she kept going that she wants Ben dead.
Devin tells investigators about Dawn's rant that night. She hated Ben for ruining her life, for making her pay child support, and she blamed him for taking Alyssa away from her.
Then James, just out of nowhere, kept saying, you know what, I'll go kill him for you. Just give me the word and I'll go kill him.
I fucking told you. I fucking knew it, bro. I fucking knew it. They was high on crack. They was high as fuck. I can make it happen for you, baby. That's what fucking crackheads do, bro. They fucking get high and lie to each other, bro. And they fucking do stupid shit. And yeah, the crackhead got up in the motherfucking house, creeping and crawling, with some motherfucking non-squeaky ass shoes on, whatever the fuck, we gonna figure out what they was. And that motherfucker got up in there. Walmart got the best murder shoes, obviously, because everybody who goes to commit murder goes to Walmart to buy the shoes. There's something about Walmart shoes that helps you get away with murder, but then you get caught. And that's the part they need to put on the shoebox. These will help you get away with murder, but you're gonna get caught. What the fuck?
Were you? And she just kept saying, I just want him dead.
Devin's account changes everything. Suddenly, the walls close in on Dawn. Even her boyfriend, James, turns against her, coming forward with chilling details about the lies, the motive, and how Dawn was the true mastermind behind Ben's murder.
She was always ranting and raving about Ben. I said, I'll take care of Ben. And she said, I don't want you to take care of Ben, I want you to kill Ben.
No,
you want me to kill Ben? She said, yes.
With Ben out of the picture, Dawn would rid herself of the $200 monthly child support payment and gain custody of Alyssa.
Remember I told y'all crackheads always tell? Y'all see? Crackheads always fucking tell in these reaction videos. Y'all see he cracked like a breakfast egg. That's what I always say. He cracked like a breakfast egg, y'all. Y'all saw that?
Devin and James' testimonies, the cracks in Dawn's story were no longer cracks. They became gaping holes. Coming to terms with how Dawn had manipulated him all along, James recounts exactly what happened on the night of the murder. He tells investigators that both he and Dawn were in the Oxley's house on the night of February 21st, 2008.
And as I'm walking down the hallway, Dawn stops in front of an open doorway, which was Alyssa's bedroom. And almost to the master bedroom, and I turn around and see that Dawn's not following me.
I woke up and heard this creak at the front door. I just heard it and I just looked out and I saw someone walking in.
The scary dark figure standing in Alyssa's room was her own mother, Dawn.
Wow.
Dawn had asked if I'd kill Alyssa too, and I agreed to it.
At this moment, James is ready. The shotgun sits heavy in his hands as he stands in the master bedroom, 2 shells loaded. Outside, Dawn rushes to start the car, the engine rumbling, ready for a quick getaway. Slowly, he raises the shotgun, aiming it squarely at Ben.
I don't know how long I was standing there.
Wow.
Something happened. It jolted and I pulled the trigger. It shot Ben. It killed Ben.
Next, he pointed the gun at Melissa, his second victim. His finger hovered over the trigger, ready to end another life. But then, something shifted. It's as if a wave of hesitation washed over him. Without firing, he lowered the weapon, turned, and ran out of the room. Moments later, the sound of his footsteps faded as he rushed towards the car, leaving Melissa and the 6-year-old alive. With James' confession confirming their worst fears about Dawn, police are horrified that Alyssa had been in the custody of her father's murderers all along. But the 6-year-old's loyalties never wavered. She knew Melissa was entirely innocent and stuck up for her when no one else believed in her. She told police about the shadowy figure she saw that night, who would prove to be the mastermind behind her father's death, none other than her own biological mother. After taking Dawn and James into custody, Alyssa is finally reunited with her beloved stepmother. Throughout the entire investigation, Melissa had fought for her stepdaughter, and she had been doing the same thing all along. When Alyssa steps through the door of their family home, there is joy and happiness. But at the same time, being back together means the pair must come to terms with the magnitude of the loss of their husband and father, and how to move forward as a new family. 4 years later, on January 31st, 2012, the stepmother and daughter finally prepare themselves for the trial against Ben's killers, James and Dawn. Alyssa, now 10 years old, sits in the courtroom watching the proceedings. In the 4 years since her father's death, the wounds she carries are deep, and her path to healing will be long. But at this moment, Alyssa knows she has to be strong, and thankfully, she's had a great role model. Her stepmother, Melissa, takes a stand, facing the man who pulled the trigger that fateful night. She testifies against James, the one responsible for taking everything from them.
Emotionally, the damage you have caused me is almost unbearable.
Crackheads,
For Alyssa, you crumbled her foundation and everything she knew to be right and true.
Alyssa's half-brother and Dawn's son, Devin, also takes a stand to reiterate his statement about his mother's involvement in the murder. In the 4 years since the initial arrest, Devin has left his mom's house and joined the army, and now bravely testifies against her, telling the court about the horrible environment he and his siblings grew up in due to her neglect and addictions. Dawn's parental rights to Alyssa are fully terminated, and she is officially put behind bars for numerous offenses, including parole violations, DUI, and domestic battery. However, with the solid proof that James was the one actually pulling the trigger, the evidence against Dawn now seems mainly limited to only claims of plotting and manipulation, and the case becomes circumstantial. Dawn manages to gain immunity to the murder charge in exchange for her testimony against James, ultimately betraying their supposed initial plan. James pleads guilty to first-degree murder and is sentenced to life without parole. Finally, Ben Oxley has justice. But then, just as James is being taken away to be imprisoned forever, Alyssa speaks up with a surprising and remarkable request. She wants to speak with her father's murderer one-on-one.
I told him that I decided to forgive him and that I wanted him to have hope.
Despite the tears, grief, and pain of losing her father, Alyssa, at only 10 years old, found the extraordinary courage to forgive her dad's killer. She had only kindness and love to give, even in the face of all she had endured. This allowed her to start the journey of healing and begin to come to terms with the tragedy she experienced. With the guidance and love of her stepmother, Melissa, the pair made their own unlikely family together as true mother and daughter. Their new family even includes Brandy, another of Dawn's children, and Alyssa's half-sister, who was left motherless after the conviction. Though she herself had no connections to Brandy, Melissa committed to paving a new way forward for herself and her stepdaughter, welcoming Brandy as she had Alyssa, becoming the loving mother and safe family that both girls needed.
It is a family, and that's what I need.
Investigation being finalized, I was able to have Alyssa back full-time. It was like another piece given back, like we could go on.
As Melissa and her two new daughters adjust to their blended family life, they find ways to move past the events of February 21st, 2008.
I try not to think about the murder. I try to just really think about Ben and the memories.
Damn.
It's just like that sense of security and love and smile that I come home to every day. There's still a sense of him here and with us. Like he has so much to live on and the legacy here that he's left and how he loved.
The pair cherishes their memories of Ben and know the happiness and connection the three of them felt will live on forever.
I miss him a lot. I think he still loves me and that I'm doing much better than I was at my other house.
It will always be in my heart.
Holy shit,
It'll never
man.
be forgotten.
On her wedding day, Melissa made a promise to be with Ben and Alyssa for the rest of their lives. The love we choose is the love that lasts forever.
Fuck yeah. Oh, fucking right. God damn, that ended on a fucking beautiful note. A bad situation that ended on a beautiful fucking note, man. Hey, listen, your kids are a reflection of you. Your kids are a reflection of you. What they see, what they learn, what they hear. So for her to, even after this man killed her dad, for her to go and say, I forgive you and I hope you progress in life and all of that, that lets you know that he was a good father and that she's a good stepmom to that girl right there, man. God damn. Listen, I would never expect that. My kids for sure ain't doing that shit. I'm sorry. I'm a great dad, but it's all, you killed my dad, it's over with, nigga. But damn, that says a lot about the mother and the father, rest in peace, man, that they raised her in a good, you know what I mean, a good home, good energy, positive thoughts, positive thinker, forgiveness, love. That's crazy. I want to speak with him one-on-one after he got the guilty verdict and I forgive you so that she can move on. Damn. And she young, dog, 10 years old. That's big. That's big. And for the stepmom to take on the other two kids of the crackhead, dumbass wife, baby mama, whatever. And then, listen, man, them goddamn crackheads, man. You can't trust no fucking crackheads. And we already knew what the play was, dog. I'm telling y'all, we watch these reaction videos and we see how these crackheads and these meth heads, drug abusers are. They get high and they start telling each other shit and promising each other shit, and they come up with a plan that never fucking works in the end. And then they snitch on each other. That's what happens every time. That's the one trend we could say right here on ABP Reactions we always see when it comes to meth heads doing a crime together, or crackheads, whatever, doing a crime together. They always snitch. And they always an informant on the side. Their police, all their informants on these reaction videos be crackheads. They always snitching, bro. So, word to the wise, never trust a fucking meth head, crackhead, drug abuser. Never trust them. They're going to tell on you. Don't give them no dark secrets. Don't let them know nothing. And they'll rob your ass. And they'll kill you. Stay away from them. Stay away from them, man. All right, that was referred to by Spider-Man. Shout out to Spider-Man on that one. That one was called Cops Think Stepmom Killed Dad Until 6-Year-Old Reveals the Clue. That's on Unseen. Let me go ahead and give him a like. That was amazing, man. That was a good one. So now, let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Also, smash the like on these reaction videos. We are back. We are going strong. We're going to keep these coming 2 a day, man. 9 a.m., 5 p.m. right here on ABP Network every day. 9 a.m., 5 p.m. Lock that in your brain. If y'all see it go live, make sure y'all tap in, smash the like. And as always, get ready for this next reaction.